you, Laura, so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. How is everyone in Burning Witches doing at the moment?
Yeah, good, great. We're all, happy with all the reactions we're getting now with the new video clips, of course. And yeah, it's just fun. The whole process is fun. So we're looking forward to the shows again. Also, looking forward. Actually, the first show now we're waiting for is the Monsters of Rock cruise. So that's really really amazing show to do. So I'll go to for rehearsals. I'm going soon to Switzerland and join everyone. So it's fun. Yeah.
You're having fun. That is nice to hear, because obviously the build, the wait, the drive towards a release of a new album can be a long, slow, laborious process. I mean, we are about a month out from the release of the new album, The Dark Tower, which of course is your 5th studio album overall. You're still feeling quite good about it. You're still excited about it. You're not at a point where you just want to get it out.
Yeah, of course, I just want to get it out. It would be nice, but yes, we wait a little bit longer, but yes, almost there.
Almost there. I have to ask then, how soon after the last album, The Witch of the North, did writing start on this record? Or was it a case that writing never really stopped?
Well, yeah, never really stopped fully, I guess, but it's more like the big strokes happened directly after, but all the details kind of happen most of the time just a few months before recording starts, right? So it's really just ideas, just some melodies and some song structures and stuff like that, and maybe some song title ideas. And we came up earlier, for example, with the album theme. So that's when I just started to write down some stuff that I think would fit just whenever it comes up. So yeah.
Did the fact that you weren't able to immediately capitalize on The Witch of the North with touring because of the pandemic, of course, The Witch of the North came out in 2021, did that have a major effect on your plans at the time? E.g., would The Witch of the North exist if you hadn't been, sorry, no, not The Witch of the North, The Dark Tower exist if you hadn't been forced to sort of sit at home for a while?
Actually, well, no, because for us that period already stopped, actually. So I think it's indeed the question you asked is probably more applicable to The Witch of the North, but yeah, because it would probably have been coming out a bit later than we did during that time. But now everything is actually more or less back to normal. We had just a lot of shows waiting actually for The Witch of the North, because we had so many shows we had to postpone every time because of COVID. So it was a very busy year last year, but after those shows were done, we did start working on the next album. So now The Dark Tower is almost out. So yeah, so that's the process. Yeah.
Nice to have some semblance of normality now, to be able to tour again, to be able to play the music in a live environment. Yeah. Did you mentioned coming up with the themes early on. Did you have a particular vision then for what you wanted the Dark Tower to be when you first started writing?
Yeah, we did when we started writing. We wanted it to be a bit darker than last album. We just all felt like, yeah, it's time to do something just a bit more heavy again. And we also we look back at some of the older songs we had, and we were like, okay, we want this heaviness of, for example, Hexenhammer, so we have this vibe definitely in the song The Dark Tower itself, for example. And it just helps that the Blood Countess is basically the main character in this, the main inspiration for this album. So it was the first serial killer ever recorded from the Dark Ages, basically, when people still got sewn into horses and stuff like that. So yeah. So we wanted something, creepy, and we did that. So
Did you spend a lot of time trying to find research the differences between fact and fiction? Because of course there are immense many facts, but also through time and storytelling, there's a ton of fiction around it as well.
Yeah, exactly. I personally I didn't, because there's already, basically, if you try to look up what exactly happened, it already says, yeah, there are not that many details for sure. And yeah, everyone makes their own story from it. So I really took a lot of inspiration also from people that make their own stories from it, right? So maybe she drinks blood to stay young, or yeah, it's all fun, It's not too many.
It can be. It's an incredible set. It's an incredible stories of surrounding as well. But of course, you know, you're not alone. Many other bands and musicians have utilized that as inspiration too. Did you look at any of that? Did you listen to any other variations on other bands' music storytelling?
Yeah, I was kind of curious, and actually, I mean, apart from a band that actually existed that's called Battery, right? Yeah, also Venom wrote a song called Countess Battery. So I did look it up. I was curious. I was just really curious what
Yeah.
was already done. Yeah, so I did. Yeah.
The likes of Cradle of Filth as well from our neck of the woods.
Ah, I didn't see that one, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So at what point then, considering you kind of had those ideas and you knew you wanted it to be heavy and you knew you wanted it to be this, at what point did you find it really start to take shape and you realized, okay, we have a strong set of tracks here that could make up a full album?
Well, for me, it's always that's always a hard question to answer for me during the process, to be honest, because I don't know, during that process of creating, you're like, it's not good, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. And then, you know, and finally when you go to the studio, it really starts to get like, you're super good, because then you put in the details, maybe you rearrange it a bit, and you also have people around you that have this fresh look on the songs that can say, hey, if we just maybe switch only this thing around, it will be super cool. And most of the time, yeah, they're right. So because they can look at it with a fresh view. So to be honest, it's for me, it's always difficult until the last moment, and then we're starting to get happy.
At this stage, are you satisfied that, yep, okay, the full album is exactly what you want it to be?
Yeah, I think we did a cool job, you know, because to be totally able to listen to it myself with a fresh mind, let's just say I need a few years actually, but I am happy with what we did now. Yeah.
Is there a chance, because I often find when I speak to bands and artists that when we are in the weeks leading up to the release, that of course it isn't going to be fresh for you. You've been listening to the songs in the ways that nobody else has, but upon release and then seeing reactions, do you think that will refresh it for you? Because it often seems to for others.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, you do hear feedback that maybe you didn't expect. So, for myself, for example, when I sang for the Dark Tower, I was actually surprised that so many positive reactions came from my voice, because I didn't feel like it was the best thing I ever did or something, but I definitely got a lot of positive reactions also on that. And yeah, there are definitely sometimes things you don't expect, and yeah, this was one of them, to be honest, because I felt like I sing it too straightforward, but people liked it, so I guess, yeah, okay.
Why do you
Yeah.
think that was? I mean, do you think you were doing anything particularly different that was outside your comfort zone this time around?
Well, it was just very powerfully sung, and I felt like it maybe lacked dynamics, but it's also a bit of the style, right? It is a kick in the face, I guess, that whole song. And so I mean, eventually it works, but for me I wasn't sure about that part, but in the studio they said, nah, just do it, and they were right, I guess. So yeah.
No, fair enough, fair
There are
enough.
these things that's why you want to do it together with other people, right? But yeah.
Yeah, that outside feedback I think can be invaluable, as it clearly was for you.
Yeah, so yeah.
Was alongside that then, I guess I'd want to ask, what was the most challenging aspect of working on the record for you personally, be it in the writing, recording, production, or even waiting phase of things?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that?
What was the most challenging aspect of working on the record for you this time round, be it the writing, recording, production, or even this waiting phase?
The most difficult one. Well, I mean, it's a bit of a general thing, I guess. And I'm not sure. Probably it's super recognizable also, but I think we did a lot of like thinking and preparing up front. But most of the work always happens when there's the most pressure, right? So
Yeah.
finishing, and to be honest, getting it to the next level to be just as bit better usually takes the most time, actually. So I think it's always the pressure part, you know, they're kind of needed to get the most out of it. I think it's always the most difficult because every time, and I have this now, like with all the music I ever wrote, I'm thinking, let's prepare more upfront, you know, let's now do this part that I usually do, or, you know, under pressure at the very end. Let's do it a bit earlier. Let's see how much better it can be in the end if you try to do that. But I just need this pressure. So that's for me personally. I think a lot of people probably feel this, but I don't know.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people thrive under pressure environments, but it doesn't, I guess, for you as well, necessarily mean you want to have to thrive under that pressure. You prefer not to.
I was trying to keep it chill this time because we had enough time. We came up with ideas early enough, but yes, a lot of it happened again. Pretty much the last moment, yes.
Maybe next time, right?
Yeah.
Likewise, was there anything different for you this time around that you particularly enjoyed?
Particularly, yeah, I mean, it's not really anything new or something or surprising, but I just love that I can use different voices in the music, right? So we have the usual metal voice, but you also have the creepy voices. I just love to be able to do the different things, and we have a ballad. So for me, it's just fun to do all these little things. And I mean, yeah, you would need to ask the rest of the band. I didn't ask them specifically, but I think they also enjoy that, you know, because Larissa, for example, she made also she can also play piano, right, and keyboard. So she made this really cool, creepy intro with the keys for the Dark Tower song. We have a little creepy intro with a clock, and those things are super fun. And I remember also having a lot of fun for Unleash the Beast in the studio. We were like, oh, let's add a roar. Ooh, let's add a lion roar. And then I was like, wait, but what about a dinosaur roar? And we were like, it's actually and then they said, and yeah, that Pulver said, yeah, that it probably also is a lion roar, and I think he's right, but it sounded just a bit more powerful. So the first one is a dinosaur roar, yeah, and the last one is a lion roar. Those things are fun for me. I like those little stupid creative moments. Yeah.
That is amazing. Do you think it was the themes that you wanted the album to be based around that allowed you to be this little bit more creative or imaginative?
Yeah, I mean, part of it, of course, we love the visual part of it, and you can definitely see it in the album artwork. We had a really cool artist, Julia, and I always fail to pronounce the last name, but yeah, Julia, I'm so really sorry. I don't dare to pronounce it. I'll probably make a mistake. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's really beautiful what he did, and yeah, it's the complete picture. You also wanted to look cool on stage, so the stage will have some really cool, you know, background. Also that fits the whole theme, and this is what's fun, of course, also, and part of the creativity. So yeah.
I love that. You mentioned the artwork. I absolutely adore it. You know what it reminds me of? And I'm probably going to show my age here. It reminds me of being a kid and going into a record store and walking down the aisles and seeing something out of the corner of your eye, like the artwork, and it catching your attention immediately and looking at it and getting an image from that artwork and kind of knowing what you might be about to hear based off it. It is incredible, as you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love to do that too. So yep.
Well, we've had two tracks so far. We've had the title track and Unleash the Beast, two absolute bangers, and that is the general consensus. That's not just me saying that. You talked about the reaction at the start. Have you paid a lot of attention to the reaction to these singles specifically? Now, one is barely a week. Unleash the Beast is barely a week out, so still early days yet. But are you paying attention to a lot of the comments and feedback on social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I'm curious always. You know, I'm curious what people say. I wouldn't really mind if there are negative reactions. I don't try to let it get to me or something, but it's just fun to see what people think. I'm just always curious. And it definitely stood out to me with Unleash the Beast. Of course, we had Larissa being pregnant, and Courtney could help us out. So we were like, you know what, so now there are actually two versions from Unleash the Beast also already, right? So we have one with Larissa, which has a bit more of the guitar harmonies that we had this album also. And yeah, now Courtney, so CC Shred, yeah, shreds basically. So we have like 2 versions, so which are cool, and everyone, I saw a lot of comments like Courtney, you know, under the Unleash the Beast. So yeah, I do. It's fun.
Yeah, the reaction has been incredible, particularly as you said towards Courtney alone, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
5 albums in 7 years. It is an incredible output. So I have to ask, where does the motivation to keep writing and putting out music come from?
The motivation. Yeah, I mean, I don't really dare to answer that for everyone. I mean, for all of us, it's definitely that we all like old school metal, right? So that's one of the motivations, definitely. So for Lala, she just loves the strong drums, and I know that I don't know I forgot his name, but the drummer from Creator is one of her big influences. She loves that, you know, straightforward, just loud and in your face drumming. And yeah, so for her, that obviously is one of the reasons. For me, it's I just love, of course, old school metal, just the guitars and stuff. That I actually tried to be a guitarist before I turned out to be a singer. But yeah, I guess I'm a better singer, so I stick to that. But yeah, I just love that, just the sounds, you know. And yeah, for me, I think the best motivation in the end is also to be able to perform live. I just love that moment of a bit of adrenaline and to see people's faces and have fun in the live situation.
Well, you brought it up, and we are reaching festival season around the world, and you're at plenty of them this year. For those who haven't experienced Burning Witches in a live environment, and there will be plenty, because obviously, of course, 2017 is the start. We had a couple of years of pandemic around the world, so this might be the first time many people see you. From your perspective, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect, I think, lots of heavy metal. I mean, yeah, sorry, it's maybe not so surprising, I guess. I think they can, they expect to have an energetic show too, to really, you know, not only feel the music but also see this energy. I guess is, I think, something I would like to believe that we can bring to the people, to make them have a good time, and to give this energy to them. And also to to get back a bit of this old school, basically this. If you look back at this time where heavy metal started to get a bit bigger, and you saw so many influences also of horror related things. And I think definitely with this album we also can do this, specifically that we have this creepy vibe also out there. And that
the crossover between horror and heavy metal appeal is clearly there. So, and as you say, it does kind of call back to I don't like to use the word, but old school, if you want, kind of imagery and thought process almost. So it kind of matches up nicely. Having seen you guys live, I can attest that a Burning Witches live show is well, you'll end up with a sore neck, put it that way.
Yeah.
Then for you, what right now, for you personally, is the most exciting thing about being in Burning Witches?
Well, I think the whole process, of course, is fun, and to be able to make your own music and to be able to tour the world with that, you know. Yeah. So the combination of being able to do that with your own music is definitely it extra rewarding. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Laura, we reached the part of the interview now where we have a randomized set of questions. They are pulled from 500, chosen for you at random, and they can be sensible, silly, deep, pointless, and we're going to throw them at you. So beginning with this one, what is your favorite holiday destination to date?
Ooh, you mean a holiday destination where I've already been?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let me think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have to just change now to my I have to think. I have to dig up the memories. Let me think. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. So it was a little bit of a holiday, to be honest. I just love it when it kind of gets me like it or strikes me if I go to a place where it's totally different. And the most totally different place I've been to up to date was Bali, Indonesia, because it was extremely different, because the air was extremely moist, it was extremely warm, it rained a lot, but it was still nice weather, if you know. Yeah, I mean, and when it was sunny, I was never this tan before in my life. Actually, I wasn't even aware I could get this tan. So it was nice, even when there was once in a while some rain, and it's just a different culture and everything looks different. So I just love it when everything really kind of confuses me to how different it is, and that was Bali, Indonesia until now. Yeah, and nice
It's
weather.
yeah, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
What is one of your personal inspirations?
My personal inspirations. Yeah, I mean, one. It's difficult to choose one.
Mm,
But yeah, let's go for this one. Let's go for Blackie Lawless from Wasp. It is
wow.
definitely, yeah. It was one of the first old school heavy metal bands I started listening to. Actually, it could have been actually the first. I think it actually the first old school stuff that I listened to. And yeah, I remember that I wanted to start learning how to sing, right? But I just couldn't do that stuff. So, but now I finally hopefully can do that voice honor, because we did a cover also, right? So I want to
Of
be somebody
course.
from Wasp. Yeah. So yeah, I love that. I love the sound. It's just it's melodic, but it's brutal, and it kicks ass, and yeah, I like that stuff.
Legendary vocalist, considered it so, and rightfully so. What is the strangest thing you think you own?
The strangest thing. Ooh, that's a funny question. What is the strangest thing I own? I have to think of that.
Hmm.
Oh, what do I own that's super strange? Uh, yeah, I mean, oh, yeah, what is it? Oh, what is it? Let me think.
Hmm.
Hmm. Maybe I should just pull open a closet and have a look in it. Uh, yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything except that there's just this thing that happened recently, and
Mhm.
they actually put a lens in my eye, so it's right behind my iris. And
Okay.
yeah, it costed me dearly, but I'm very happy I own it now, because I can live without glasses. And actually, they warned me maybe it shouldn't be as good, but actually I'm having better vision than I had with my glasses or with my lenses that I would put on. So I'm really happy I did it. Yeah, I think it's strange, because basically I paid a lot of money for them to stab me in the eye, and then,
Mm,
while under the influence of drugs, they stab me in the eye,
of
and then
course.
they floop, 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 and then they put a lens, like basically they put it in the right before the, how to say this? They can actually, it's
The
apparently there's fluid
iris.
iris. Yeah. So they
Yeah.
put it before your iris, and then they put little sticks in there to get it like underneath the iris. And I paid money for that, and I survived. So yeah, I think that's pretty strange.
Yeah, that's up there. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a cat or a dog person?
I like both, but to be honest, I do like cats most. And um yeah, it has something to do, well, definitely it has something to do with the drool and the smell. Cats don't drool, cats don't smell. So usually they can smell. If they pee in your house, which sometimes happens and is really bad. But yeah, for the rest, I do like cats. I'm more of a cat person. You don't have to walk them; they just do their own thing
They
if you
will.
need them to do so. Yeah.
What is the last thing you do at night before you go to sleep?
The last thing I do at night, well, usually I would have like put down my glasses, right?
Ah, of course.
Yeah, and so now I go to sleep, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have them anymore, and then I go to sleep. So yeah.
The last thing you do is forget that you don't wear glasses anymore.
Yeah, and at this moment, because I did it I wear them since I was 10 years old or something, or maybe 12 or 10. Yeah, I think 8 even, maybe 8 or 10. I think 10 years. I kind of forgot, but a long time already. Yes, that's why.
Wow. What freedom.
Yeah.
What's a positive that you can point at about social media?
Positive. Well, I like that you kind of also keep into contact with people like all over the world that you normally wouldn't see or catch up with so much, and you can just, you can keeping up to date with them, which is, I think, really cool, because they're, especially if you tour, you just meet a lot of people that you can't always meet, and sometimes you see them again, and it's nice to just see what they're doing a bit. I mean, of course, you see only the good things, and it's different, but I still think it is nice, in this world where you can just travel wherever and you can't always catch up. I think it's a nice thing.
It's still supposed to be the basic purpose of it, isn't it, really? To connect with people.
Yeah, and if I wouldn't be a musician, if I would just, do my job and live around people that I know, and I would be able to just call them up or actually go, just ring the doorbell every time. I think it's, to be honest, then I wouldn't really appreciate it that much, I think. But now I do appreciate it for that purpose. Yeah.
Fantastic. What's a country that you've not played in yet that you would love to one day?
Yeah. What is it? Oh, yeah, Japan.
Of course.
That one. Yeah. No,
Likewise. So go.
Oh, that was an easy one indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you say it, it's like, of course, Japan, absolutely. Yeah. Who would you love to play with then one day, either as support or them supporting you?
Ooh, well, as a support, yeah, I mean, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, I think are on the top of the list, and Wasp, of course, for me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And last but not least, what's a goal you are aiming to accomplish over the next 12 months with Burning Witches?
Oh, 12 months. Okay. Well, that's always world domination. No, yeah, 12 months is a bit short, isn't it?
Well, you say that new album and all.
Huh? Sorry?
You say that, but with a new album and all, 12 months with a new album, it's very, you never know.
You never know, indeed.
Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Of course, The Dark Tower is the 5th new album from Burning Witches, May 5th. It is an amazing record and continues the trend of amazing music from you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?